Welcome back to a new episode of Berrien Birders. This week I'm introducing a new character to our show. This is my girlfriend Christyn.
He calls me a character.
Well, I'm also a character. At least one of us has hair, unlike me. We went out to Seattle last fall, or rather last month. At the end of February, beginning of March, we took a trip out to Seattle, and we toured Mount Rainier.
If you have not been to this national park, I recommend it because it is breathtaking.
That what this really kind of showed us was that this was a lesson in kind of how elevation matters. That we started at the bottom of the mountain and it was spring. Here there were varied thrushes around. They were singing, they were recording. I wish I had a better microphone. That their song is this kind of very ethereal, thin, just kind of like angel chorus, la. That's probably not really doing it justice, but they would sing from. Kristen's saying no, no, it doesn't. But they were singing from the very top of the trees, and this was very much spring at the bottom. Here's one, a pretty narrow bill. They look like robins in terms of their overall shape. They've got, I don't know what that shape of the bill is. They've got the blue of a bluebird. They've got the wing pattern of a solitaire, and the sound is probably closest to a solitaire. But just very unique birds that we enjoyed a lot. But varied thrush, I mean, this was just a very fun bird to encounter. Not really like anything that we have here in the East. Occasionally we do get varied thrushes here in winter, but not anywhere in the idea of five of them at a time. And while I did say that it was spring, it's maybe 31 degrees right here for this spring. As you see, the pond where the thrushes were was frozen pretty solidly. And this is what I think of as rainforest. Kristen, you think Bigfoot's going to jump out here?
I think you should be prepared just in case at all times.
I wasn't prepared, but fortunately, it wasn't Bigfoot that jumped out to greet us. Instead, it was a brown creeper, probably the opposite in size from what Bigfoot was. But this is on a big, gnarled. I think this is white cedar, and the creeper is just kind of making an allegory for this whole video as it just kind of slowly goes up and it goes higher and it goes higher, and then it gets to the top of the mountain. Still going. He's going up. And it's going to launch itself off, which is about where we were going to go. But we kept going up and kept finding kind of more birds the higher up that we would go. That we walked on a trail, and Krista's daughter Agnes asked, "Hey, what makes those holes in the tree?" I'm like, sapsucker, I hope we can get to see one. And then right at the trailhead, after walking 2 miles on the trail as dusk fell, here was the bird right at the, basically viewable from the parking lot.
Yeah, the nice thing that we did not have to prepare for was the chains on the wheels that they warn you with signs all over the mountain that I'm like, ooh, are we going to get stuck? Are we going to slide down the mountain? But we didn't.
Yeah, it turned out you didn't really need the chains, but they definitely signed the road aggressively. I don't know if you could have gone up the mountain with them. I feel like they would have just torn the mountain up. But you can see as we get higher, first there was 6 inches of snow on the ground, then there was 8 inches of snow on the ground, and as we went up, the birds kind of changed too. Here's chestnut-backed chickadee working around. They were very frenetic. I thought that they kind of definitely moved faster than our blackcaps do, and I had a heck of a time trying to get even passable video of them. And then we kept going higher, and now there's not 8 inches of snow on the mountain. There's 2 feet of snow on the mountain. And we said, okay, well, let's keep going higher. What do you think of this guy, Kristen?
I think it was one of the most beautiful birds I'd ever seen. And interestingly enough, even though we were that high, we weren't that much colder. I didn't think. I mean, when we were walking around up there, we still felt pretty warm in the sun, but definitely was more wintry with the snow on the ground. There was 15 feet of snow up at the visitor center covering the windows.
Yeah, now we're
At
high
the
enough.
extreme.
Yeah, every kid's dream as well as Kristen's dream too.
Mhm.
But who's counting? But now the birds are pretty much down to corvids. That there was Stellers Jay at the open. Here's Gray Jay, otherwise known as Canada Jay. I'm not sure what the current name is. And these guys, admittedly, were definitely scoping out the parking lot, seeing who was going to give them a handout. I was very content to stand them up, but let them keep posing very nicely for us. These guys are sometimes called camp robbers because of how quickly they can acclimate to being around people and find us as, ooh, these weird bald apes have food. I like food. And eventually we got high enough up that it was pretty much just ravens. That here we're snowshoeing up the mountain, and we gained probably a mile of vertical elevation, and it's just ravens at this point.
Yeah, Matt spent a lot of time videoing ravens.
I mean, it was pretty country, and ravens were what there was there. I mean, if there'd been a Townsend's warbler up there, I would have videoed the Townsend's warbler, but the wind was just ripping, which you may be able to hear in some of this clip.
Yes, by the time we got up near this top or the top as far as we could go, it definitely got to the cold level. Even if you were hiking in short sleeves up until that point, you weren't when the wind started going.
And just this terrain at the top of the mountain was incredible as we look at kind of where the ravens are just soaring around looking for. I don't know if the ravens were really looking for anything or if they were as much just enjoying the views and the updrafts of the country that they lived in as anything else. This is either Mount Adams or Mount St. Helens. I'm not sure which. This is the other one, just to kind of show some of the views up there. But thank you for tuning in to this description of Mount Rainier. Christyn and I may return for a quick trip to the Everglades, and who knows, we might even be able to bring one more character to the blog, the Laniap, otherwise known as the Kraken and occasionally known as Doofus. Like, comment, subscribe. We'll see you next week.